What is up? What is up? HIAW family, it's another Monday. 5:30 in the Central Standard Time Zone, 6:30 in the East, 3:30 in the West, and we are back. We are live on the channel for How It All Works, our public speaker episode. And you already got a chance to take a sneak peek of who's on the channel, who's going to be with us today. You've seen the flyers, but I want to say this real quick. I want to say a word of thanks to our HIAW family, our alumni, folks who have been with us since episode 1. Season 1 is coming to a close. This is episode 15, fam. Episode 15. That is crazy. We've had so many great moments, and today's not going to be any different with the public speakers panel. But next week, I want you to really plan to be with us as we recap the first half of season 1, looking back at those first, what is this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, first 8 episodes, okay? First 8 episodes. And I've got some treats lined up. I'm going to have some clips that we're going to play. I'm going to be taking your questions. We have some folks who are gonna be coming in one by one to share some nuggets of wisdom with us. So we're looking forward to that. I want you to join us for that next week and part two the following week, where we cover the other 7 episodes from season one. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. But listen, on deck, on tap right now is the public speakers panel. I mean, this is going to be fun. We're going to learn some real nuggets of wisdom from these folks who do it every day. This is what they do. This is their vocation, in multiple different ways. They come at it from different angles. So we're going to get a chance to really hear their different perspectives as it relates to public speaking. If you've ever thought about being a public speaker, this is the one for you. And you want to take a moment right now to share the stream and let somebody know that this is happening, this is live, and we'll take your comments if you engage with us. So without any further ado, let's get right to it. Public speakers panel. Hello, hello. Welcome everybody. Yes. Man, we already have one comment from David Hunt, who is a faithful HIAW watcher, viewer. He is here literally every week. I think we asked you, David, last week how many of you've come to. I think you said you only missed one. Can anybody beat that? In the comments, talk to us. How many episodes have you come to? As you see on the screen, we have the panel here. And listen, if you're here to see Roquita, if you're here to see Sasha, if you're here to see Egwu, Kenny, Brian, let us know in the comments. Shout them out right now. Let them know, like, I'm here because my guy is here or my girl is here, and I'm here to support you. Let us know in the comments real quick. So excited to have everybody here. And again, as I mentioned before, take a second to share the stream. We're going to go around the digital room and do some introductions. I want you guys to get a feel and flavor, especially for those of you who are not in the Facebook community group. You haven't had a chance to see some of the posts that we've been doing all week long about our speakers today, man. And some of those posts were great. Now, let me say this. Okay. Kanique Mighty Nugent says every single one. She has an unfair advantage. That's my wife, y'all. Saba says, I'm here for Egwu. I hear that. Gueston Pierre says, I'm here for everybody. Okay, I love that. Denali's like, yo, got the notepad out for this one, bro. That's what's up. Oh man, we in the comments here, man. We're in the comments. A lot of people is shouting out Egwu, man. Egwu, man, you got a cheering section out there, man. That's what's up. So we got a couple people on the live with us today, and so like I said, we're gonna. Oh, somebody's shouting out Kenny Anderson now. We're gonna dive in. I want you to hear their voices, right? In Africa, that's a big thing. I'll get into another video. We want you to hear their voices in their own words. How they come at this public speaker thing. So we're going to start. I'm hesitant. Right to my side, right next to me here on the digital screen. I'm going to start with Roquita Johnson. And Roquita, just tell the folks a little bit about yourself and how you come at this whole public speaker thing.
Hello, everyone. So thank you for that introduction, Kirk. My name is Roquita Johnson, and I am the founder of Roquita Johnson Public Speaking. I am a certified world-class speaking coach, and I transform individuals in ministry from simply being public speakers into being powerful presenters. I show them how to use every aspect of their voice to connect with and not confuse everyone under the sound of their voice. So I work, like I said, with individuals in ministry from everything from soup to nuts. I need to craft my message. How do I work on my delivery? And then I also like to find out what is it about this person, kind of like their special sauce that can add to their presentation, just finding out more about that person. So the message, crafting it, the delivery, soup to nuts. And I speak about communication skills. That is my passion. That is what I do.
Wow. See, some of you came prepared. You have your notepad already. But for those who did not come prepared, we'll give you a moment. Not now. Don't leave right now. But we'll give you a moment later on to be able to go and grab that, because you're going to want to watch this one. And hey, you can always catch the replay. You can always catch the replay, and you can do your notes then. We're going to move right on. right as we sit in the order of the digital room here, we're going to go to Sasha Simmons. So, Sasha, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you come at this whole public speaker thing.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Kirk. Hi, everyone that's watching. My name is Sasha Simmons. I am a speaker and empowerment activist. I am incredibly passionate about teaching individuals how to create their lives. I also work for Axon, where I speak on behalf of the organization. They are the leading tech company for body cameras. And so I speak primarily to our customers about what it means to bring body cameras into their facilities for their law enforcement officers. I love all things public speaking. I believe that you can activate people. I believe that you can change lives. And I'm super excited to be here. I also have a podcast called 731. And 731 is a podcast that focuses on emotional and mental well-being. I believe that a lot of us, unfortunately, are existing in brokenness. And quite often we don't know that. And so we wonder why our lives are in turmoil and why we can't build sustainable things. And so it's really just getting to the root of that. My podcast episodes are short, cute, and perfect for your daily commute.
Come on.
They're about 15 minutes. You like it, right? I love it.
I like it. I like
They're about 15 minutes on average each. And so I encourage you guys to check it out, 731.co, written out in all letters.
Come on. Listen, man. Listen. Some of you are wondering to yourself, you're still stuck on when she said, "I am a speaker for Axion." You're still stuck on that. You didn't even know it was a career for real. Like, you thought you just had to go speak for yourself, right? Listen, man, you guys are in for a treat today. Honestly, you're in for a treat. I'm in for a treat. I get to sit here and ask the questions that you guys can't ask. But listen, I'm in your seat, okay? So use me. Engage in the comments. Tell us what you want to know. Brian Olds, talk to us a little bit about how you come at this whole public speaker thing. So I'm already looking at my time, because you put a bunch of speakers together, it's gonna be a problem. Egwu told me long ago, he's like, that's too many speakers, bro. That's too many. But Brian, come on, talk to us a little bit about you and how you come at this public speaker thing.
Absolutely. What's going on, Kirk? And what's going on to all the How It Works family and to my fellow panelists? Super excited to be here. As you mentioned, my name is Brian Olds, founder and president here at Black Speakers Network, or BSN. We are a nationwide speaker development and empowerment platform with over 10,000 members, serving current and aspiring professional speakers, specifically Black professional speakers.
Yes.
Super excited about that. But listen, I'm just a skinny kid from Baltimore. I'm a certified introvert, probably least likely to be on this panel.
I love
10
it,
years
certified
ago.
introvert.
Absolutely. Check the LinkedIn credentials. Certified introvert. And guess what? I was the kid that couldn't lead two people in silent prayer over 10 years ago. We'll get into that later. But, stand here super excited and proud to lead a community like Black Speakers Network. Professionally, within the community, we are focused on, helping connect speakers to the audience that they are called to serve. Excellent. And in addition to that, my own speaking platform focuses around what I call PCS, which is helping entrepreneurs get clarity on building partnerships, community, and systems. So super excited to be here. Looking forward to a great conversation.
Excellent. Wow, man. Listen, whew. It's going down. Sasha, Jabron Whited. I'm butchering this name. I apologize. But he's like, look, Kirk, Sasha is amazing. It's a small world. It really is a small world. It really is when you see some of these lines overlap. Kenny Anderson, talk to us. Talk to us. I could literally just do a one-on-one with this guy alone by himself. But talk to us a little bit about how you come at this whole public speaker thing.
Well, I'm very excited to be here. First of all, I'm very honored to be a part of this conversation. I was about to jump out of my seat when Brian started talking about being a certified introvert, because little does he know his story is my story. And I think that's fairly common for a lot of public speakers. We'll talk more about that later.
Absolutely.
But my reality is that I am a trained mental health professional. So I had a long career of talking to people in that particular space. During that time, I was challenged to actually go out into the community and talk to people about the services. And I discovered a passion for public speaking. And so in 1995, I launched a business called Maximum Life Enhancement. I've traveled extensively around this nation and around the world, providing training opportunities, professional conferences, and more for people who are interested in that. About 30 years ago, I started a radio program at
Yes.
WJLU at Oakwood University
Yes, sir.
that celebrates its 30th anniversary on November the 1st. So every Sunday from 2 to 4 p.m., I have an
Second
amazing
chance.
platform to be able to share information and talk about a variety of things related to just people wanting to live their lives better. And of course, I'm currently working as Multicultural Affairs Director for the city of Huntsville, and I work directly for the mayor as an ambassador from his office to our community on all quality of life issues. So my
Yep.
job is to be wherever people are and to be able to share positive words. So I have multiple forms in which I have an opportunity.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. That is awesome. We're off to the races here. 5:43. My goodness. Okay. Egwu. Egwu Nwankpah. Talk to us a
Yes,
little
sir.
bit. I mean, I know your perspective. You're speaker as well, but I love the fact that you also get a chance to host and plan events, and that is a perspective we definitely want to touch on here. But talk to the folk a little bit about, how you come at this whole public speaker thing.
Well, thanks for having me first and foremost. And I'm not used to being on Central Time either. So you're saying 5:30. I'm like, what happened to my hour? So thank you all for having me with all these great speakers. I tend to come at it from a different angle. I do quite a bit of public speaking, sometimes on behalf of my main employer, which is Bank of America. But a lot of times, like Kirk, I have another boss, and that's my wife's
Join us.
business that is servicing all of these Fortune 500 companies. So I've been working on that and helping engage in that regard. One of the things I do a lot, I think, I speak from the standpoint of I do a lot of hosting events. I'm often picked to be a moderator, or I'm often in the events planning side of things. So definitely, I'm somebody who likes to listen to a bunch of speakers, get ideas, and in my wife's business, employ you. So this is free advertising for everybody. So I'm just happy to be here.
Thank you. I've lost my screen for a second there. I couldn't find where to take that thing off.
It's all right. It's all right.
Listen,
We know
this
you're doing
stuff happens live, man.
production and you're doing production and hosting at the same
Yes,
time.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So listen, folks, in the comments right now, I want you to engage with us a little bit. So our first question to you in the comments is: have you ever considered making public speaking a career, even whether it's a bolt-on, career to what you currently do as your main thing, or as a full-time career? Talk to us in the comments. Tell us if that's something you've ever done. And while you engage with us there, I want the panelists to engage around this first question, and that is in one sentence. We're going to start with Egwu, and we're going to go back around just to make it fair, so Roquita doesn't have to go first every time. We're going to start with Egwu, and we just want you to give us in one sentence, if you can, right? I know this is dangerous for speakers, but in one sentence, what is public speaking?
Well, I'm a trained CPA. I have no problem being brief. It's the communication of ideas, or facts to few or many. That's what
I like it. The communication of ideas and facts to few or many. I like it. All right. Kenny Anderson, talk to us.
I would say public speaking is a method of communicating anytime you have more than two people in the same space.
Okay. Good. Brian Olds.
All right. I would say public speaking is the ability to use your voice to shine a light on a path to illuminate the footsteps to allow other people to come behind you.
Oh, brother, you're going to have to say that one more time, brother. There's no way I'm going to repeat that. And we can't do that in a hashtag. So come on, say that one more time.
Yeah, so public speaking is using your voice to illuminate the path for the footsteps to bring people behind you.
Oh, man, that's beautiful. I see the imagery, Whew. Yeah. Couldn't lead two people in silent prayer. Man, put that thing together. Okay, Sasha, talk to us. One sentence. What is public speaking? Go ahead.
To me, public speaking is the secret weapon of speech that you can use to stir the souls of men.
Oh yeah, That's good. That's good. The secret weapon. Yes. That is good. Okay. And Roquita, look, now we're going to start with you on the next question. But at least for now, you get to pull up the rear. So close it out. What, in one sentence, what is public speaking?
To me, public speaking is the act of speaking to an audience in a deliberate, structured way with the goal of either informing, motivating, persuading. There has to be an end goal to this.
Yeah. I like it. I like that. Now in the comments, man, they are eating it up. Illuminating voice. I love this. Cynthia Mighty says, I love this. David Hunt says, illuminate the path to lead people behind you. Like that. Gaston Pierre says, secret stirring weapon. Love it. And we got some fire in the comments, man. Look, they're having a great time, and I am too. We are going to move quickly to our next question. I want us to really hover around the speaker stories, the speaker journeys. So I'm moving too quickly through these first two questions so that we can get to the speaker stories. But I want us all to share something that surprised you about public speaking. I know for myself, there's many, aspects of being a public speaker. I had no idea what a writer was. I mean, I didn't know, there were so many different things that just surprised me. Give us some examples of things that surprised you about public speaking. Anybody? Now we're not really in an order.
Yeah, so I'll jump in on that. I remember when I first started thinking about public speaking, and people would oftentimes ask me, was I getting paid? And first experience I had in public speaking, I always say I probably did a couple of hundred presentations in which I didn't charge anybody anything. It was a testing ground. It was learning the craft and all of that. But the first time somebody told me that they would pay me $1,500 to do a presentation, it literally blew my mind. I said, you mean I could actually develop a career around public speaking?
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
like you could really earn money around public speaking, and not earning money just because you are speaking, but earning money because you have something to say. And there's value in what you have to say, and people will pay you for that.
Yes. Wow. I want you. I mean, we're not hovering around money, but I want you to say that number one more time, Doc. Just tell them. Just tell them one more time.
Well, that was just the honorarium. That didn't include the flight. That didn't include the hotel. It was the first time I literally walked into an airport and somebody had one of those cards up saying Kenny Anderson. It just blew my mind. I was like, this really happens?
Yeah, man. Listen, it's amazing. It's amazing. Anybody else? Something that surprised you about public speaking?
From the business side, Kirk, or the public speaking side, just being a speaker?
Any aspect of it.
Get him, Roquita.
Any aspect. We don't want to tie you up. We want you to feel free.
From the public speaking side of it, when you are on the stage or the virtual stage, I would say something people don't think about that you'd be surprised is that you don't have to be dynamic all the time.
Yes. That's good. That's good. I'm trying to make sure that we thread this needle where we're not giving away too much. No, but that right there, that's good. I'm hoping that somebody's taking a note right now, because that's gold.
Can you hear me, Kirk?
Yes. Yeah, we can hear you.
Well, Kirk, I just want to say Roquita is she has this amazing hashtag that I think is trademark called Slay the Stage. So you got the right one. You got the right one right now.
Okay. Look, Slay the Stage. I like that hashtag.
I'm sorry. Okay. Did you guys not hear me?
No, we heard you. We heard you.
We heard you. I was just adding on.
Yeah,
we heard you.
It started like buffering. It looked like, so I wasn't. Some of your screens started buffering, so I wasn't sure if it was my end or yours.
That was the power of your comment.
We actually are.
So what I was saying
clearly
is, you don't have to be dynamic all the time. Dynamic all the time, which is what some speakers think. Like, I have to lower my voice. I have to make my voice higher. I have to go across the stage. I have to go to the front. I have to, yell at the audience. I have to speak slower, faster. Take the spice off of it sometimes. If you are just silent, that can be very effective. When you are dynamic all the time, it becomes the same, which is the opposite of what you're trying to do.
Absolutely.
It's that sameness. So that's something I would say.
That's good. That's good. No, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's good. That's good. Anybody else want to touch that one? I want to take one or two comments as well. But yes, please,
I think
Brian,
for
go ahead.
me, sorry, Brian.
Oh, no, Sasha. I didn't see I saw Brian's hand, but go ahead.
Brian raised his hand and I didn't. I'll follow. I'll do that next time.
It's okay.
I was gonna yield.
For me,
Listen, everybody jump in. Let's go.
Go ahead, Sean.
the power to actually change someone, to help someone change their life, like the power to actually help activate people. Like you hear about it in passing, but to really see it in real time and to have someone come up to you years later and say, I heard you speak at X event and you changed my life. You may not know this. That is surprising and humbling at the same time.
That's powerful. Oh yeah, that's good. Brian, yeah.
All right, so for me, and I'm seeing some of the questions here about, how do I transition into business of speaking and how do I get started in public speaking? So I think my answer will synopsize this. So when I first started speaking, and we'll say this later in my story, but I used to think that public speaking and professional speaking were the exact same thing. And so for me, one of the things we focus on in BSN, we had to actually create a model called the 5 M's. And we could probably talk about that later. But the first M is getting clarity on your mission. And so I think a lot of times people people have a passion for speaking and they want to get out on stage. They want to drop mics on people and that's great. But the thing that surprised me, I used to think that, great public speakers were the highest paid professional speakers. Like if you were the best speaker, you would be the highest paid, the most booked. And actually there's not an exact line there. And I think a lot of people kind of skip over that first step of just getting clarity on their mission. And so in BSN, we talk all the time about getting clarity on your speaker sweet spot. And so that's the intersection between what you're passionate about, what your area of expertise, and what the market is looking for.
There it is. That's good.
I'll throw something in there too. I've been blessed to live in a lot of the large metropolitan areas in the country, New York, Los Angeles, and the DC area. I think those have been really impactful on my experiences. But one of the things that I got when I was living in Los Angeles, I used to go to the comedy club circuit. And, I won't age myself too much, but this is 2000. So a lot of the big comedians today were just, they weren't getting paid at that time. So they were hanging with me in the lounge. But I learned one thing from them was that, you have to really learn how to read your audience, to be really impactful. You have to be able to really gauge what they're doing. Some jokes fall flat, but how do you take that flat joke and turn it into something else? And how do you read them and give them what they want? And how do you, craft something with an end user in mind? So I think that was one of the biggest things that I got that helped me in my journey in preparing things, especially speaking in public.
That's gold. That's gold. Listen, we are at 55. So I'm right at that spot where we want to dive into some of the stories from our panelists, and hopefully we have time. Guest and PR, I see your question about negotiating rates in this virtual space, and we have a question coming on the heels of these speaker stories that will touch on that. So we're coming back to you. I don't want you to think we didn't see that one. I am Kent Wade is in the comments. He's saying, yes, ma'am. I think he was responding to either Sasha or Roquita. I'm not certain at this point, trying to catch back up. But Anselm Paul is in the comments saying public speaking didn't make me an extrovert. I think you'll find some kindred spirits on this panel. And then CJ, one of our HIAW alumni, this guy has been at every episode. He's just saying what's up to everybody. Listen, we're going to start, I want to say, with Roquita, if that's okay, by sharing the stories. We want you guys to hear a little bit about how these speakers, these professionals, came to be where they are now. They shared a little bit about who they are and what they speak on and what their expertise is and what their passions are, but how did they get there? I think here at How It All Works, that's one of the things that we try to hone in on. And so we want to dive into that with Roquita. Now, did you want me to show the video first, or did you want to go ahead and share something first?
I'll share something first.
Okay.
So people who know me today, who've met me, I say within the last 5 years, they are shocked when I tell them that I would have done anything to have avoided doing any type of public speaking. like 11 years ago. I was forced into it almost is what I call it. I was working at a financial services company in a position where I was not visible, but I was promoted quickly after 6 months. So I became more visible. I had to lead team meetings. I had to talk to the copywriters and the designers about what this email campaign should look like, what the website should look like. I found that my communication skills needed a lot of help. You know how when you talk to people and then you ask them, okay, do you understand what I'm saying here? And they'll say yes, they're nodding, but you look in their eyes and you're like, they have no idea what I am trying to communicate to them. So that's when I said, okay, I need help. And that's when I joined Toastmasters. Excellent. Toastmasters was the gateway for me to get my speaking skills together because I clearly was not getting through to people. So that's what started it for me. I joined Toastmasters just to feel like I could string my sentences together in a logical manner. And then I started competing in contests. Then I eventually started tutoring some children, and I found that I was a really good teacher. I love public speaking. I became certified, and here we are. Wow. In a nutshell.
That's good. That's good. I know that your clip speaks to another aspect, but that is phenomenal. And again, for those of you who are in the comments, this is what it looks like. People come at it from so many different angles in so many different ways and vocations. There's no necessarily a straight path. Your path will be your path. And I'm glad that you're able to share that with us, Roquita. Thank you so much. We want to go to Egwu. Actually, we're going to dance around the screen if that's okay.
Okay.
We're going to dance around a little bit. And so, Egwu, just talk to us a little bit about how this aspect of your career has blossomed and taken off, both from the speaker side and from the hosting and moderating side.
Some of it's always been there, if we're all honest with ourselves. I think some of the things, most Black people grew up in the church, and the church always puts you up front, scripture readings and things like that, where you kind of get over the jitters at a young age that some people don't get the opportunity to. So, I've been, if I can't really put an event to it, I mean, I hosted the Black History Show in 6th grade at John F. Kennedy Elementary.
Yes, sir.
That might be when it all started and clicked, that, people felt that when I was saying something, it needed to be in front of people, and people wanted to listen to what I had to say. I guess that's powerful. I guess that's fair at that point to come to that assumption early. But I think in my career, I've always put myself in situations where I can do the things that I enjoy talking about and the things I enjoy doing. And that lends itself for you to take a more prominent role in the conversation when it's something that you actually have the acumen about. So, things like civil rights and social justice and things like that. I was fortunate enough to have my employers feel like I was, a person that they would like to put in front. So I get to meet with, Mark Mariel of the Urban League or people of that nature in social justice and civil rights. And that started off with me hosting events with them and having conversation with them and meeting them. So I think that's where that all came from.
Yeah, I think you're hearing some kind of a recurring theme, though this may not be your story. Even in your current role at your current job, there may be opportunities for you to be able to speak or to host or to moderate discussions for various different things. And those are opportunities that, you can explore. And again, here at How It All Works, that's what we're all about, is exploring, seeing what we're good at, seeing what we like, seeing a little bit further of what that discipline or vocation or that skill set looks like. And I'm glad we have this panel today to be able to share a little bit more on that. We want to go to Brian. I know, again, we're dancing around the screen, but Brian, you've alluded to the story, and I know that there's going to be pieces that we'll hear again with Kenny. But talk to us a little bit about your journey at becoming a public speaker.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I already mentioned I'm from Baltimore, by the way. I had an amazing opportunity to go to the great Morgan State University. So yes. We have any HBCUs in the building, I'll go ahead and drop that down there in the comments. But Here's the deal. When I said certified introvert, I wasn't kidding. If you had been sitting next to me in a small classroom in 2006 over at Morgan State University, you would have watched as I stood up, walked to the front of the room, and prepared to deliver my very first speech in Toastmasters. So like Roquita mentioned, it is a phenomenal organization for people who just are getting started speaking, or even people who are already polished and just looking to improve their skills. But this was the very first meeting, and I was one of the very first speakers. And so since Kenny and I have so much in common, Kenny, if you don't mind, I'm gonna put you right on the front row of that classroom back in 2006, because if you had been sitting there, you would have noticed a couple changes in me physically as I prepared to deliver that speech. First of all, you would have noticed my sweaty palms.
Yes.
And if you didn't notice them, you would certainly would have noticed the pool of sweat starting to form around my feet as I started to begin that presentation. Notes are melting away. You would have heard my shaking voice as it started to crack under the pressure of my first few words in the presentation. And if all of that escaped you, you absolutely you would have noticed me almost, because I was pacing back and forth so much, just kind of out of a nervous habit. At one point, I almost walked out of the room. I have a Nigerian friend. His name is Deepo Adesina. He's listening. Deepo dropped some comments below. He can attest to this. He's like trying to wave me back like Southwest Airlines back into the room. So this was my first, and this was all in the first 30 seconds. So this was my very first presentation. What you couldn't see, Kenny, is what was happening on the inside, because as Roquita and Sasha know, we have this little thing called butterflies that start to fly around in your stomach when you're doing anything, presentation, interview, asking someone on a date. The butterflies are there. But I didn't have a casual case of the butterflies, Kirk. These weren't the Discovery Channel butterflies that you see all the time. These were the Hannibal Lecter style butterflies crashing into each other, trying to escape. First 60 seconds. So I visually wrapped up. By the way, it was only a 3-minute speech. I wrapped up my presentation, and I immediately noticed 3 things, Kurt. One, I was still alive, which I was super excited about because I thought I was going to die on the spot. The second thing I noticed is that everyone in the room was clapping, and they gave me a standing ovation. Now, what Roquita knows as a former club president is that, at Toastmasters, we pretty much clap for everything. Like if you bring your water to the meeting, you're going to get a round of applause. Like that's just what we do. Yeah. But it made me feel good at the time. And the third thing I realized, Kurt, and this is probably the most important thing, is that I just survived my first presentation. And if I could deliver 1, I could deliver 2.
Come on.
2 turned into 4, 4 turned into 10. I eventually made it out of Morgan State University, still stayed in part of Toastmasters, but I went on to host my own events. I went on to get into corporate America. I spent 11 years working for a major staffing recruiting firm, got my dream job as a full-time trainer. So I got to drop knowledge on people on a weekly basis. And all those experiences led me up to starting Black Speakers Network. But, it started back in that classroom. And I just want people to know that if you're on this journey of thinking about starting speaking, I share that because, it's definitely nothing special about me, but something very special about, being willing to put yourself in an environment to fail and keep overcoming over. And
That's good. That's good. That's good. Sasha, we are coming to you. Brian, man, thank you. Thank you. We're going to come back a little later because I want to hear a little more about the Black Speaker Network. And I'm certain that we got some folks in the comments who want to hear a little more about that as well. And I know you have something special for them if they sign up. Sasha, talk to us about your journey. And
Yes. Listen, first of all, Brian is about to make me shout and speak in tongues at the same time. That was a word that he just dropped. I loved it. So mine started with a boy, right? There's always a boy involved somehow. I was dating this guy, and I felt like I needed to be doing something in life. And I started mentoring his younger brother. I was fortunate enough to get 17 scholarships to go to college, and his family asked me if I would come to their church and speak to their seniors. And so I put together a quick presentation, didn't really think much of it, and got on stage to go ahead and give the presentation. And literally the moment I stepped on stage and opened my mouth, it was like the heavens opened, and I knew this is what I was supposed to do. And so then I started telling every single person that I was a motivational speaker. Had never done much speaking outside of things like that. If you would talk to me at the grocery store, I was telling you I was a motivational speaker at the gas station. It didn't matter who you were or where I met you. I just kept saying this to everyone who would listen to me. Well, somehow word got back to the vice president where I was doing my graduate school work at University of North Florida, and they were looking for a student speaker for an event they were having with 500 of their top donors. And my name came up. Somebody said, "Oh, Sasha's a motivational speaker. She just told me that." And so I went into a meeting with her and sat down and told her my story. And by the time I finished, I was like, "Well, will you let me know if I was selected or if it was the other two individuals that you were looking at?" And she said, "Oh, no, it's you." And so about 6 weeks after that, I was standing on stage with 500 in front of 500 billionaires, millionaires in the audience. And I gave my very first prepared speech. And from that, it just kind of catapulted and folks wanted to give me opportunity after opportunity and opportunity. And so, yeah, that's how I got my start.
That's good, man. So for you, it's slightly different. That whole butterfly thing didn't quite take place.
Well, I still get butterflies though. I still get
okay.
And that's one of the things. I still feel it. My mouth still get dry. I still get nervous. But once I'm a minute and a half into the speech, 2 minutes in, I'm good.
Yeah. I experienced that as well. Last but absolutely not least, we want to hear your story, Kenny Anderson. Talk to us about your journey. And I know we shared a little bit back and forth on email and text this week as we prepared for this discussion, but talk to us about your journey to standing on the stage and delivering these speeches. Come on.
I know so many years later, people see me and they have no idea what it was like. I could show you my college transcript today, and you will not see speech on that transcript. I was terrified to take speech. It was not a requirement, and I was not about to take it. But along the developmental path of my career, I knew I wanted to challenge myself to become a better speaker. And so I literally became a church clerk at my church, First Seventh-day Adventist Church, and thought the least I could do is read the announcements. Well, I remember the first time I got up to read the announcements, and I think Brian was probably talking about, your voice is all crackling, your knees are shaking. It felt like I was just going to pass out in front of the church. It felt like the 500 or 600 people sitting in the audience were all looking at me at the same time. And of course, you're playing a recording in your mind. And that's one of the biggest things that you've got to challenge as a young speaker and even as a more developed speaker, because you're always going to see people who do things a certain kind of way. So you want to learn how to stay in your lane. And one of the most important things I did very early on was say, I'm not trying to be another speaker. I'm trying to be a better speaker. And so over the years, it really has amazed me. My journey has taken me, like I said, all over the place at major conferences, giving presentations, emceeing national events, speaking on the radio every year for 30 years now. I mean, it's just been an absolutely amazing experience. And when I tell people now that I was too nervous to speak back in the day, they're like, you got to be kidding me. But I was a certified introvert. And even now, my nature is introversion. If I go to a social gathering, I'm not trying to work the room and talk to everybody there and be the life of the party. I want to find me a nice quiet seat. Maybe I'll sit down with my wife, talk a little bit, talk to a friend or two, and then quietly slip out. Because by nature, I'm still an introvert. But I know how to handle the stage.
There you go. Folks, man, it doesn't get any clearer than what we've shared so far. We're at 6:10, and now I'm looking in the comments to see, what if there are any questions there. I see a lot of people galvanizing around what has been shared and the stories that we've just listened to, and some of you are probably resonating with your story, with some of the experiences that you've had, and I just love the idea that if you can make it through one, you can make it through two, and maybe 10, and maybe 100. So as we continue on in the discussion, I want us to grapple with the question. Is there any myths about public speaking that just simply aren't true? I want the panel to share a myth, something that that the person that's out there that doesn't know a whole lot about public speaking, they think this is how it works, and we just want to bust that myth right now for you. Is there anybody? We're not going around. It's just anybody. Does anybody have anything like that? Any myth that you know of that people have said, "Oh, is it like this?" And you're like, "No, it's nothing like that."
Yeah. So
Someone said,
Go ahead.
someone suggested, thank you. Someone suggested that it was like acting one time to me. And I don't think it's like acting at all. I think acting is its own art form. I think speaking is also an art form, art form as well. But I don't think it's like acting. And so if you are out there and you think that it is, I know I'm a very expressive person. I'll say that. And so because I'm expressive, it may come off as that way, but it's not acting at all. And I do want to be clear in that. It's something completely different.
Totally different. Good.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Kenny, you were going to say something.
Yeah, one of the things I've learned over the years, and it has to do with a myth, is that when you get up to speak, you don't have to be an expert on every single thing that there is to know something about. You need to be clear about what you know about. And you also need to be willing to say, I don't know. And of course, you do it in a specific kind of way. You don't just say, well, I don't know. But you kind of talk about it in a way that helps people understand that, you understand your topic, your subject, and you are the expert for that thing. But you're not the expert for every single thing.
Yeah, there you go.
But because when people speak and they don't know what they're talking about, guess what? Everybody in the audience knows they don't know what they're talking about.
That's true.
So there's no reason to fake it. You just have to stay again within your boundaries.
That's good. Any other myths out there?
I want to dovetail off of that, because I think that exactly what you said, Kenny. And the thing that I find a lot is that oftentimes speakers think they need to have all of their presentations like memorized word for word, and that's the way that you're delivering it. And so there's a big difference between written word and spoken word. And so what I encourage new speakers to really think about is so the structure of every presentation is like a sandwich. There's a common thing that you learn in Toastmasters, which is, you want to tell your audience what you want to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. And so if you want to nail something in your presentation, I mean, absolutely, you want to capture your audience's attention in the very first sentence. So you want to nail the opening and you want to nail the conclusion. But there's a lot of room in there to tailor your presentation to the needs of your audience. There may be funny, like we've had things that happen, Kirk, where people have, fire alarms are going off, something funny happens, and you kind of work it in. And so it doesn't have to be so rigid and structured. And so I would have speakers really focus on connection just as much as they focus on content.
Excellent. Anybody else wanted to touch that one? Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I do. And Sasha kind of touched on it before, and it's about nervousness. I think one myth that speakers who are just starting out that they subscribe to is that they have to completely work out their nerves before they start speaking to the audience. And that is just not true, because even the best speakers in the world, they will even tell you that they still get nervous before they have to address the audience. It's really about a mindset. It's taking the nervousness, the anxiety, and thinking of it not so much as nervousness, but as pent up excitement. That's how I like to think of it.
That is good.
I'm excited about
reframe
this.
It.
I'm
That's
not
good.
Yeah, you have to reframe it. I'm not nervous, I'm excited. Nervousness and excitement are really the same sensation in your body if you think about it. Wow. It really is. It's just how you think about it. And that nervousness can actually help you have more energy when you're given the presentation. It's like fuel almost. So nervousness can actually serve you well.
That's perfect. I mean, as I thought about this question, what you're sharing is exactly one of the ones that I know I say to people all the time. I had a chance to speak for an event a week or so ago, and I was saying to my wife, man, I'm trying to work out these nerves. I'm a little nervous. She's like, you still get nervous? I'm like, yeah. So of course I still get nervous. It just goes with the territory, Somebody else was going to speak. I think I cut somebody off.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I was going to add real quick. That's such an important observation, that issue of nervousness, because as years have passed, the way I have processed that experience is that what it does is it keeps me humble. Nervousness helps me not become overconfident with any group that I talk to. So I'm going to give 5 people in the audience the same love and attention that I'm going to give 500 people in the
There
audience.
you go. There you
I'm
go.
going to respect the audience that I'm talking to. And when I think about the nervousness thing, because after almost 30 years of doing this, I still get nervous every time. But I get nervous even before the presentation. And that nerve drives me to be well prepared
Yes.
and to really respect the audience that I'm speaking to.
That's good. It's real good. Real good. We've got 2 more, and we're close. We're at 6:17. I mean, we're getting there. We're getting there, and I want to make sure we have some time to touch on two or three little things that we have here. I'm gonna. No, we got to take this one. How has the pandemic affected public speaking? Anybody to touch on this one? I mean, a lot of conferences were canceled in person, of course, and how has that? Is this still a viable space? What are the stories that you have? What have you experienced, and what are some of the stories of your colleagues out there that you know are in this space as well? What are they experiencing?
Yeah, I mean, I could jump in. I think, certainly the pandemic is touching just about every industry, and the professional speaking industry is no different. And then, as a public speaker, some people may look at this time as a negative because of exactly what you said. When I saw South by Southwest get canceled, I knew we were in for something major.
Yeah.
But at the same time, on the other end of adversity, there's opportunity. And so so one of the things we started in Black Speakers Network as soon as the pandemic started was something called a speaker spotlight. And so every member of our organization got a 30-minute virtual keynote speaking opportunity on our platform. And so for the people who weren't already leveraging the different avenues to be able to connect with their audience, now they have an opportunity to practice and perfect that. And so we've seen way more webinars, digital courses, opportunities to be on platforms, amazing platforms like this podcast. And so from a public speaking perspective, you're getting an opportunity to master the craft of not just speaking in person, but virtually speaking. And guess what? When the pandemic goes away, you're still going to have those skills. So I think it's been a good opportunity to kind of stretch.
Excellent. That's well said. Well said. I'm looking around. Yeah, go ahead.
I'll jump in there. One of the things that and it's kind of where you were going, my good brother, where we're talking about, the switch at the last minute with the pandemic and where that put most people. One of the things that I noticed that there were some people who really did sit back and be like, they thought this was going to end fast, right? So they kind of put it all to the side. And then there's a lot of celebrities. At first, when I remember I was talking with Google and we were doing a series, we were working on it in March, and we were talking about the people who everybody was gung-ho to just jump on a live, just like we're doing now.
Right.
In March,
right.
you could have got any human being on earth because everyone thought this thing was going to end fast, right? And then now, try that now. Everybody has a digital rate. Everybody has digital attorneys. Their booking people are already booked up dates and things like that. Yep. Everything has changed on the dime for people who do this as a profession or a vocation. So I've seen fortunes made in this pandemic, believe it or not, and I've seen fortunes lost. Well, I think I've seen a lot more fortunes made with people who really were, at that digital space already and willing to meet the market at that time. It's really seen a lot of dividends in that area.
And that's good. Yeah, that's the perspective. I mean, seeing the opportunity in the crisis, and being able to pivot quickly and take advantage of some skills that maybe you didn't think much of before. I mean, so people who had the skills to be able to present virtually, they are definitely making the move. But I mean, even for those that didn't, when they made that transition, and if they did it quickly and they were methodical about it, they were able to pivot quickly as well. And then there's a lot of opportunities out there. I'll just say that to our audience as well. The last question before we dive into one or two stories that we want to share with you is, there is somebody out there, somebody who is an aspiring public speaker. They've stumbled onto this video. Maybe they're in the live comments. Maybe they're watching after the fact, right? They caught the replay. Somebody tagged them in the post that shared on Facebook or something. and they're wondering, like, what is that thing, what is that number one piece of advice that you would give them as an aspiring public speaker? So we're going to go around the digital room, and we're going to start with Roquita and make our way around to Egwu. But what is that one thing, that one for you? I mean, what is that number one piece of advice that this is where I would tell that aspiring speaker to start?
I would tell you that if you want to be a speaker, then you have to speak. Meaning, do not despise small beginnings. Do not think that something is beneath you, so to speak. Like our gentleman friend here, he mentioned, Kenny said he started speaking up in church. He was a church clerk.
Yep.
That is getting in front of an audience. I don't care if you're at your family reunion and they just ask you to say the prayer. The matter is that you are speaking in front of people. One small step is going to lead to bigger and bigger events for you. And that's going to build your confidence along the way. It's not just about getting up in front of 500 people. You can just be the host of, your Toastmasters club, or if you're at a Rotary club. There are so many different ways that you can utilize your speaking expertise. So if you want to be a speaker, then you have to speak. Take opportunities that you would not have even thought about.
That's good. That's really good. Sasha, your number one piece of advice. Your number one piece of advice for an aspiring public speaker. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So I will say for aspiring speakers, you absolutely have to unequivocally get your systems in place if you want to be successful as a speaker. And I want to give you guys, a few options here. And.co, and.co. That is great for invoicing, proposal, and contracts. It is seamless. Your money will just drop directly into your bank account. Please use this service. It's fantastic. The other one is Streak. It's a web-based or cloud-based CRM, and you have to have a solid CRM down. It goes right into, I use Google Suite for everything. So if you're on the Google Suite, that's fantastic. It goes right into your Google Suite as a plugin. And then also Boomerang. It's a great emailing system. While you're at it, use all of those and get yourself a booking agent. It can be your friend, it can be your spouse, anybody, but those 4 things, and Streak, Boomerang, and a booking agent will change your life as a speaker.
I can't type that fast. Somebody help me in the comments.
You want me to say it again?
Let's do it again. Let's do it slower. Let's do it slower now. Let's do it slower. So yes, let's go through that list one more time.
And.co,
And.co.
And.co, and.co. All right. Streak, Streak.
All right.
Boomerang.
Okay, Streak dot, or just Streak?
Just Streak. It's a plugin that goes into your Google Suite. And then Boomerang is also another plugin that goes into your Google Suite. And somebody just said Speaking Agent, and that's a great one too.
Excellent. Streak, Speaking Agent, got it. And.co, and and.co.
Yes.
and.co. So somebody typed it in the comments, but I want to make sure we get that. and.co. Okay.
Yes.
Brian, I thank you so much, Sasha. Thank you. Brian, talk to us. Your number one piece of advice for an aspiring public speaker, other than joining BSN.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think for real, they need to follow Sasha, because she's always like dropping like jewels and inspiration. I'm like, man, I need to go like do something. But yeah, no, I think the biggest thing, especially for the aspiring speakers that are out here, is that you got to really double down on what makes you unique. You got to get really, really, really clear on your secret sauce. And I say that because I think a lot of times, one of the reasons I started BSN in the first place is because I wanted to increase the diverse representation of Black speakers in the professional speaking industry, and really focus on the next generation. But one of the things that we tend to do is look at other folks in the industry, whatever industry, and just want to, like, of course, duplicate that success. Many people want to speak in front of thousands and millions. And so we look at people like, Eric Thomas or Lisa Nichols or Les Brown. And so we start to try to want to be them, like them. And so I think it's okay to emulate people's style and start to get a flavor for, what might be possible. But ET is gone. Not only is ET who he is, the era in which ET came up, the unique things that that happened in the world and in his life, and that mesh to create the person you see as ET
Yes.
is over.
Yes.
So
Speak.
there, ET is taken, Les Brown is taken, Lisa Nichols is taken, but there's still you. And so don't try to be don't try to duplicate anybody. Try to double down on the things that make you uniquely special and lean
Nice.
into your own voice. If you have an accent, like you were talking about, Kurt was like, "Hey, I can hear the Baltimore." Yeah,
Yes,
like my
sir.
East Baltimore accent is going to come out. Like if you got a speech impediment, if you have a certain style, like don't feel like you have to be like anybody else that you see on stage. You need to be like yourself, and then cater to the audience that you're called to serve.
Look at that. That's good. That's good. Real good. Real good, folks. I hope you're taking notes. I know I'll go back through the live later and make sure I get some of this stuff down as well. This all gold that they're giving out here. Kenny Anderson, talk to us a little bit of your number one piece of advice for an aspiring public speaker. Your number one piece of advice. Go ahead.
All right. So actually, what I'm doing tonight is taking my own advice because I'm listening to great speakers and I'm taking my own
There you
notes.
go.
One of my favorite statements is success leaves clues. We don't have to reinvent the wheel in order to be successful. We just have to watch and learn from successful people.
Oh man,
And
that's the
that
hashtag. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, but that's the hashtag, folks. Success leave clues. Success
just leaves
leaves
clues.
clues. Mercy. Go ahead.
And we have to think about it in both directions. See, people will tend to say, well, I'm going to go out and find the best speakers. I'm going to find the ETs, et cetera. I'm going to study from them. And that's well and good, but you also need to understand the worst speakers and know that those are the things you don't want to do.
Yeah.
When you see things like lack of preparation and people who don't have the delivery and the cadence and those kinds of things, that's what you don't want to do. And hopefully in that context, it will inspire you to work to be a better speaker. So success leaves clues. Study those who are doing it on both sides of the spectrum.
Excellent. 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 Egwu, number one piece of
Yeah,
advice. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And you have the go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go. You tell me what. Give me
What you have the
clues.
unique
Give me some
perspective
clues.
of being able to book people, right?
That's true.
Getting panels, putting panels together, and what are some of the things you are looking for? I mean, those are I'm from that perspective. What is your number one piece of advice for an aspiring speaker who's looking to make it?
Yeah, I would something simple to hear and learn is know the difference between little league and the major leagues, right? So it's really understanding the engagement that's in front of you. Yeah, I think a lot of people rush into charging and wanting to get that money and miss out on good opportunities. I think some of the best opportunities I've ever had were things that I did for free that really set me up and put me in front of people that were going to make a difference in my career. So I would
Every
say,
head is nodding, right? Everybody's
so
head is
so
nodding.
so know the difference between the little league and the big leagues. Like I think when you get the opportunity to speak in front of a barbershop, you might not think it's anything, but it's something, right? But then you're not going to go from the barbershop to the SALT conference, right?
Right.
You
Right.
might, but I don't think people know what the difference between that is. Sometimes when I offer people money for something, I'm always shocked that they're shocked that they can get paid for this. So sometimes someone. Some people have. I'll be like, well, how much you charge? Well, $100. I'm like, I'm gonna pay you what I'm paying people, and just so you know that you should be. This is where you are. And then some people will come out. Some people will say stuff crazy like, I won't put a number out there, but or their name. But there's some people who are famous and semi-famous who come with absolutely ridiculous numbers for 15 minutes to get on Zoom. So I said either way, everyone kind of has to do that feeling out of the opportunities and really understanding if this is what you want to do, know what the difference between opportunity is and that payday.
Listen, that's good. That's gold. Knowing the difference, understanding the audience that you're speaking to, doing your homework, being prepared, but also recognizing the levels in the speaking career, right? So and the type of opportunity that it's before you. That's gold. Thank you so much, folks. We are at the cutoff time. I'm wondering if you would just indulge us for another 10 minutes. I want to take a few more minutes just to highlight the Black Speaker Network. I want Brian Olds to touch on that a little bit. and to share with us a little bit more about. I mean, you talked about why you started the Black Speaker Network, and you gave us some useful things there. But I've got a slide I'm going to throw up. But if you could just give us a little more about what that network is for and how you guys support one another.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. And so, I mean, you're seeing a living testimony of it right here, because Roquita and Sasha are amazing BSN members and partners. And so, you know, really, really excited to have this cool opportunity to speak with them. But, you know, Black Speakers Network, you know, of course, as I said before, our mission is to equip, connect, and inspire the next generation of Black professional speakers. And so, you know, next generation doesn't have anything to do with age. It has to do with people who self-select, raise their hand and say, yes, you know, I absolutely want to understand how to build a speaking business. So kind of taking it from this foundation that you started here, Kurt, of how to become an effective public speaker, and then continue to, you know, get paid for that consistently. And people kind of fall into different categories. Some people may say, yes, I want to be a full-time professional speaker. That's my jam. That's all I care about. Some people are more in the mindset of, you're already a professional, already an entrepreneur, and you're just looking to leverage speaking to grow your business or to grow your practice.
That's big.
So,
that's big.
Regardless of where you fall on the spectrum, there's a place in Black Speakers Network for you. So we really focus on 3 areas. Number one is training and resources. And so in our BSN Facebook community, we have over 10,000 members, and every single week we're providing some sort of free training around our framework for building your speaking business, which is getting clarity on your mission, your message, marketing, how to monetize, and how to manage your speaking business. And so we only talk about those 5 things, and every single week we're doing a deep dive in one of those topics. The second area we focus on is visibility. You know, most speakers, especially when they're getting started, they're trying to figure out how to get on stage. And so we're giving you a stage. We're giving you a 30-minute virtual speaking opportunity. For our members, we're actually adding you to one of the largest Black speaker directories anywhere online. And so meeting planners are coming to us looking for not just, you know, paid speaking opportunities, but also visibility opportunities, podcasts, online shows, webinars, guest features, media opportunities. And so we're adding you to our directory, and we're also sending out what we call speaker opportunity alerts. And so for our members, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you're getting an email with speaking opportunities that you can just apply directly for, not to mention BSN signature events like the one we have coming up in October that you can apply for. So all of that being said, you know, we focus on training, we focus on visibility, and finally we celebrate. You know, I've been taking secret little pictures of Sasha and Roquita that I'm going to be sharing all over like social media as soon as we're done, because, you know, that's the deal. Like, people need to see what's happening. And so, you know, sometimes as a new speaker, it could take a long time to kind of get that visibility. But now, you know, when I send a tweet or, you know, share something like this, it's automatically going out to, you know, tens of thousands of people. And so we really want to celebrate the success of our speakers, whether that's, you know, just getting, you know, booking your first speaking engagement, or you're hosting your first podcast, launching a book. Sasha has an event coming up. Like, whatever we're doing, we want to amplify and pour a lighter fluid on it. And so that's really what BSN is here for. And to anybody that's, you know, out there trying to figure out how to do it themselves, you know, we just create a community and be able to be surrounded by people to help you get there faster.
You mentioned the book, and I know you said that there's a blessing. You know, there's a blessing for those who sign up. Talk to us a little bit about that, and then Kenny Anderson, I'm coming to you to talk about Leadership Empowerment Enterprise.
Yeah, 30 seconds. So the book behind me is Speak Up, The Ultimate Guide to Dominate the Speaking Industry. And so we know a lot of people struggle with figuring out, okay, what do I do first? Like, how do I build this business? Like, what is it all about? And so we took 35 experts, Roquita's one of them, and we created a book that outlines those 5 M's that I mentioned. And so it is an Amazon best-selling book. It has 35 chapters where you can dive in and go to the exact part of the business that you're trying to figure out, whether it's how to price yourself as a speaker, how to figure out how to use webinars and opportunities like this. All of it is in there, but it's a great, perfect next step for people that are like, okay, what do I do next? And so for anybody that's watching this, and if you're not part of the BSN community, I invite you to join. You can just go to Black Speakers Network on Facebook, join the group. If you leave your email address, then you will actually get a e-copy of the book for free, absolutely free. You'll get a digital download in your email, and that's my gift to you. And for the first 5 people that join the group and send me a DM and give me like a hashtag Kirk to make sure that you saw it here, you're going to get a copy of the physical book in the mail. So that's my gift to everybody.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, folks. Look, resources is the name of the game, man. I think Kenny said, success leaves clues, and these clues are right here. These clues are right here, and so we want to make these opportunities and these resources available to you. Kenny Anderson, talk to us a little bit about your enterprise. I've got it up on the screen here. Leadership Empowerment Enterprise. Different things that you guys do. Speak to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So over the last, I'd say 2.5 years, and perhaps a little bit longer than that, I've been on a major spiritual journey where I've been just looking at various things about my life and trying to understand a very important component called legacy. And when I talk about legacy, I'm talking about how do we live our lives in such a way that we're going to leave something that's going to benefit people long after we're gone. And so about two and a half years ago, I started a nonprofit organization called Leadership Empowerment Enterprise. And Leadership Empowerment Enterprise focuses on 3 things.
You're good.
Oh, okay. Leadership Empowerment Enterprise focuses on leadership development training, mentoring, and philanthropy. And so I wanted to look at some of the things that I was doing and begin leveraging them in a way that they would have a greater impact on the community. So every first Wednesday of the month, I do a free professional development seminar that was meeting locally, but now we're on Zoom. So it's actually going to take place this Wednesday is our first Wednesday. And we talked before about how has public speaking changed in the COVID-19 era. I'm now able to draw speakers from all over the country as a consequence of that. Whereas before I had to really depend on local people. So this has really been beneficial for us. Also, I have a book club. I have wanted to start a book club forever. And so now every second Monday of the month, I have a book club called Bookworms, a virtual book club discussion on Zoom. And it takes place for just about an hour and 15 minutes. We don't spend a whole lot of time, but we select the book and then we go out and talk about it. It's a facilitated discussion. I'm now bringing in guest authors, which is a great thing as well. And that's been an exciting part. And then the third thing is my Rising Stars mentoring group. Every October, I open up to anybody who wants mentoring, free of charge for the rest of their lives, to be a part of the Rising Stars mentoring group. And I have committed to pour every resource that God has given me into the lives of other people. People always talk about how well resourced I am, how well connected I am in the community, etc. That does me no good if I keep it to myself. And so because I know I have an expiration date, I want to plant seeds so that other people can be harvested over the course of time. And that's very exciting. And then the last thing is, because I'm celebrating this anniversary of my radio show coming up here on November the 1st, I'm establishing my second, 30 years. I'm establishing my second endowed scholarship. This time, I'm endowing a scholarship at Oakwood University.
HBCU.
For a psychology major, a sophomore, junior, or senior who is also doing community service. So it's called the 212 Community Service Scholarship. It's a $25,000 initial scholarship that we will grow over time so that more students can benefit from that scholarship. That scholarship, the first student will be able to go to school on that scholarship in August of 2021. And I'm very, very excited about that. This is the second time I've done something like this. And Leadership Empowerment Enterprise gives me a chance to just celebrate all of the many gifts that God has given me.
Excellent. Listen, this is a great segue. I know we're over our time, but there was a great speaker. He may not be known to you as a speaker. He was known to you as an actor. Some of you may not even know his real name. Some of you just call him T'Challa. But he tragically passed away this weekend. And I wanted to just share this speech that he gave at Howard University.
I can think of no better place to be right now after the Black Panther and Avengers campaigns than to return and participate in these graduation ceremonies with you. It is a great privilege, graduates, to address you on your day, a day marking one of the most important accomplishments of your life to date. This is a magical place. Almost anything can happen here. HU Howard University has many names: the Mecca, the Hilltop. Students, your protests are also promising because many of you will leave Howard and enter systems and institutions that have a history of discrimination and marginalization. The fact that you have struggled with this university that you love is a sign that you can use your education to improve the world that you are entering. I was on a roll when I entered the system of entertainment, theater, television, and film. I stand here today knowing that my Howard University education prepared me to play Jackie Robinson, James Brown, Thurgood Marshall, and T'Challa. I can think of.
I share that because the speaker journey happens in multiple different ways. The way you get on the stage may be a different, may take a different path, may have different avenues, different directions. Definitely not necessarily cookie cutter for any one of us. And so for Chadwick Boseman, it was because of some of the things he had done in his professional career that landed him on that stage. And again, while we mourn his loss, your direction and your journey may take on different paths and may put you on stages that you never thought were possible. But how you deliver when you're on that stage is what people will remember. The opportunities that get you there are sometimes by chance, sometimes by design, sometimes by well-oiled plan, like some of the things that we've heard from the panelists today. But being prepared and being able to deliver a specific message, even if it's just for one or two people in an audience full of people, that's what we're here to do. And we love that about being public speakers. I want to take, again, just a second or two. We're going to start with Egwu and go around to plug our hustle, plug your brand, plug your business, plug your website, social media handles. This is the time to share with people how they can follow you. Egwu. Let me unmute you. Sorry, sir. Go ahead.
Oh, no problem, sir. Thank you. I just wanted to thank everybody. I'll probably be in touch with a lot of you. Our business, my wife is my boss. We do a lot of picking up speakers for very one of her corporate clients. So if you're a speaker, please send some of your information to me, your bios and stuff like that. We'll try to include you in RFPs.
I'm a witness, fam, that he's not joking. It's real. That's a real offer there. I wasn't sure if you. Go ahead. Sorry, I wasn't sure if you were done. Teguza, I wanted you to share, where they can find you at.
Thanks.
Oh, it looks like. Are you guys hearing Egwu?
Yeah, he cut out a little bit.
Okay. Egwu, you cut out there for a second. I'm not certain if you're back, but just share a little bit about Teguza and where they can find you, where they can send information.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you can find us at teguza.com. There's a lot of information there, and the owner is Sabo Nwankpah, same last name, a little prettier than me. And you can find her information around there. And we definitely look for some of our corporate clients are looking for people that speak to various points of the Black life. They want to hear different things. Depends on the client. So if that's your interest or that's your vocation, reach out to us. We like to hear from you.
Excellent. Kenny Anderson.
Certainly, I can be found on all social media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, LinkedIn. I'm out there. I'm active on a regular basis. So if people are trying to connect with me in various ways through my enterprises, Leadership Empowerment Enterprise, I've got pages on them. I've got pages on my Second Chance radio broadcast, and a lot of other projects that I'm working on as well. And beginning tomorrow, I officially launched my brand new redesigned website, KennyAnderson.org.
Okay.
It's up now, but tomorrow's the official launch for KennyAnderson.org. And I'm excited about it. We're going to do great things with that platform. And thank you again for this opportunity.
Excellent. Thank you for being here. Brian Olds.
Absolutely. Well, I already talked specifically about BSN, so that's where I hang out. Roquita and Sasha always in there. I'm talking about what we're doing in the Black Speakers Network community. So you can obviously go to blackspeakersnetwork.com to learn more. I've been spending a lot of time on LinkedIn. So I think we connected through LinkedIn, Kirk.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as you can see, it works. So if you're not on LinkedIn, fix that tonight.
Yes, indeed.
If you're not using it, fix that tonight. But if you want to connect with me directly there, that's fine. Send me a DM. And if you want to get on my calendar, I'll talk to anybody. So just shoot me a message and I'll make sure it happens.
Excellent. Sasha.
I'm just happy to be here. You guys are giving me such great energy. You can find me across all social media platforms at the Sasha Simmons. It is what my handle is on here: Facebook, Instagram, IG, Snapchat, LinkedIn, TikTok. I don't TikTok, but I do have an account, so you can find me there. You can also check out my website, sashasimmons.com, and or listen to my podcast at 731.co. That's also on Spotify or Apple or Google Play. So check it out. Shoot me a DMs. Like Brian, I respond to anybody. I talk to anybody. So let us know what you need in any way I can help you. I love providing people with resources. So if resources is what you need, let me know, and I can definitely help you out.
I'm on all the social media channels except TikTok. So you can find me on Instagram. My handle is here, Roquita Johnson _ public speaking. I'm on Facebook. I have a Facebook group. I'm on LinkedIn. My website is www.roquitajohnson.com. It actually relaunched last month. So new website. It looks fantastic. I love connecting with people as well. If you're someone who you're a ministry leader, pastor, preacher, teacher, you want to get your skills up, or maybe you're not a leader in a church per se, but you're a Christian speaker, you're starting out on your journey. Let's connect. I would love to talk to you and show you how to slay the stage.
Love it. Folks, that's it. You heard it in their own words and in their own voices, what it's like to be a public speaker. And we definitely touched on a couple of different things, but we're just literally scratching the surface. Public speaking, speaking in general, whatever stage you find yourself on, or even if you're just talking to 2 or 3 people in your living room. It just takes on so many different shapes and sizes, and the industry is vast, and there's opportunities for you to find your stage. I'm hoping that somewhere in the broadcast, somewhere in the show today, you were able to, put some of the pieces together. I hope that next week you will join us for part 1 of our 2-part season finale, where we're going to kind of walk back through some of the episodes that we've experienced over these 15 episodes. I mean, look at that screen. I mean, live stream, photography, web design, behind the scenes of TV movie production, podcasting, voice as the first instrument in broadcast, music production, masterclass, and audio engineers. And we're going to have some special treats. People who are going to be dropping in during next week's episode to just talk to us a little bit, maybe answer a question or two. So please tune in for that. But yes, here at How It All Works, we seek to kind of give you a peek behind the veil a little bit. It'll help you to understand a little bit better something that you did not know about a specific industry, a specific skill set, a specific career path. And I'm hoping that somewhere in the show today we did that. Hoping somewhere in the show today the light bulb went on and you had that aha moment and you figured out how it all works. Join us next week for another great episode. Take care and have a good evening.